Thank you, mothers and others. We're on to our next guest here. And you may have seen our next guest because she's been all over social media and she had quite a splash when she announced that she was running for this office. So I'm so excited tonight to introduce you all to Amanda Edwards. Amanda Edwards is a candidate for Texas Congressional District 18. She's running against incumbent Sheila Jackson Lee. And you may have seen Amanda Edwards because she was endorsed by Beto O'Rourke. So thank you. Amanda, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are and why you're running for office?
Well, first of all, let me say thank you for extending this opportunity to really hear from candidates across our great state who are trying to make a real difference in the lives of Texans. My name is Amanda Edwards. I'm a former at-large Houston City Council member and now running to be the next Congresswoman for the 18th Congressional District. And the reason that I'm running is simple. I think that we are at a point in our trajectory where we have to put people over politics. And in order to do that, we have got to be focused on impact and attaining the results that the community deserves. When you take that public oath of office, you're taking it to serve the public, not to serve self, not to focus on what sound bites you can get for the day. And we've gone astray from that focus. And so my goal here is to go to Washington, where there is such tremendous dysfunction, and really be a very strong voice and advocate for us creating impact and good governance. That's what our people, our communities require us to do. When I was growing up, my father was very ill with something called multiple myeloma. In fact, he got diagnosed when I was 10 years old. I remember asking my father, what happens if this insurance stuff I was learning about wouldn't cover his life-saving treatments? And he would respond to me and say, I said, what happens if they say no? And he'd say, well, we just have to figure something else out. And I remember at an early age understanding that something was wrong with that answer. And that answer was not reflective of a system that actually worked for people or for their families. And we have got to put people into office who understand that these are matters of life and death that affect American families, Texan families, each and every single day. And you need people who understand that, but more importantly, who can deliver on things like access to healthcare, housing, economic opportunity, the things that really make a difference in someone's ability, not just to be in a place and space, but we want them thriving in those spaces. And although my father did pass away when I was 17, what I learned from that experience was to have purpose behind your service and to be someone who isn't just there for the politics, but instead is there for the people. And that's what this campaign is about. That's why we have gotten such a tremendous amount of momentum behind us, endorsements all over the country, the state, and of course, the stakeholders on the ground. And they know that this campaign isn't about me or anybody else who's on the ballot for that matter. It's about the people we are seeking to serve and them finally getting the results that they deserve.
Well, that's great. So Amanda, tell me, what are your top three issues that you're running on that are your top three for your district?
The top three issues for our community, of course, healthcare access. I talked about that in my opening remarks. We are still not where we need to be. When the Affordable Care Act got passed years back, it was never intended for that to just be the end all be all. But when litigation began to fly around, people started to back away and not really tackle the gaps in what the Affordable Care Act can do. And quite frankly, there are many Americans, although we've increased significantly the number of those that are insured, we have got to decrease the number of people who are underinsured. And that's the space and place that we have got to operate from so that people in our entrepreneurial community, for example, small business community, won't be afraid to leave their W-2 so they can start their small business because they need to have real strong coverage that really does support their needs. That's something we've got to focus on. I talk a lot about economic opportunity in our community. What does that look like from an education standpoint? Are we preparing the workforce of tomorrow? Or are we preparing the workforce of yesterday? And we've got to make sure that we're making education on all levels accessible to our students so that they're not priced out. We want to make sure, in addition to education, small business support is provided. Equitable outcomes are supported for women, small business owners, minority small business owners who often face major disparities when seeking to access capital, build a business, really be a part of this American dream that we should all achieve and ascribe to. So these are some of the elements, in addition to restoring some of the rights that have been stripped away, such as women's reproductive rights. Of course, being in Texas, I don't have to tell you how we are ground zero for creating a very harmful, dangerous situation for women of all socioeconomic levels, and really creating a paradigm in which we are not taking human life seriously when it comes to protecting women's health, and protecting their rights to privacy in their own health care. And so these are elements that we need to be focused on, restoring women's reproductive rights here in Texas, but across the country with the codification of Roe v. Wade, really. So those are some of the elements that I think are essential to really move the needle so that everybody in this community has the ability to thrive.
So where can we find you, and how best can we support you right now?
Well, you can find me everywhere, but especially on social media, you can find me. I've got an Instagram account, Amanda K. Edwards TX. You can find me on Twitter, AK Edwards TX, and Amanda K. Edwards TX on on Facebook as well. You can also find my website at www.edwardsforhouston.com. We're so excited about the momentum that's being built. And the fact of the matter is, it's a reflection of the people and their desire to see change in their community. So check us out. We're very, very excited about the opportunity to see change in this district. This will be the first time in nearly 30 years where we'll see change in this district.
Thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. I really appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the campaign trail.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all that you do. Thank you.